Coronavirus got my hair looking crazy. Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about a little different topic than we did last time. Last week we talked about some of my favorite pieces in my closet, so that was a fashion sense. But today we're going to be talking about my top 5 favorite anime characters of all time. If you don't know, the Japanese word for anime actually comes from the American word of animation, which is why I include some American animes, which you will see later in my list. And you probably know what I'm going to be talking about. So the way I rank some of these characters are going to be based off of their backstory, character development, their morals and attitudes, and just overall how cool I think they really are. This list is highly debatable, so feel free to leave down in the comments below what you think your top 5 anime characters are, and just let me know what you think of my own list. I'm not going to be going too in-depth and too detailed about the anime character's storyline, but I'm going to be talking about why I love them and what makes them, worthy of my top 5 list. So let's get into the first one. Alright, so for number 5, we have Giyu Tomioka, the water pillar from Demon Slayer, otherwise known as Kimetsu no Yaiba. I think Giyu is just one of the most perfect anime characters of all time because number 1, Demon Slayer extremely blew up this year. As a brand new anime, it easily swept some of the top 10 animes that you can think of after just one season. Giyu's just a badass. He tried to kill Tanjiro at the beginning of the first episode. After he realized Nezuko wasn't a bad demon, he was really all for it. Giyu really had that same energy type of feel when Tanjiro was defending Nezuko, and then Giyu defended Nezuko and Tanjiro from the other pillars. He's just a character who has a lot of morals and a lot of strengths, and the water pillar is always considered one of the strongest pillars out of all the Hashiras. Giyu is honestly unmatched. We haven't seen much of Giyu because we only had one season of Demon Slayer, but honestly, I think he's gonna shock everybody to see how strong he is. I don't personally read the manga, so I don't know exactly what happens, but just from season 1 of Demon Slayer, he easily hits my top 5 of all time. And yes, I put Giyu over Tanjiro and Zenitsu because he's just so much more of a badass than both of those guys. He has the water pillars locked down, and I mean his fit, come on. The cloak, the kimono, fire fashion sense, 10 out of 10. And he's only 17 years old. He's only 2 to 3 years older than Tanjiro, and he's already a Hashira. That just shows the level that he's at and how much stronger he can possibly get with time. So there we have it. We have Giyu Tomioka at number 5 from Demon Slayer and Kimetsu no Yaiba. Next up, we have Killua Zoldyck from the Hunter x Hunter series. I didn't really get into Hunter x Hunter that much as I don't really find it one of the best animes of all time. Don't kill me for that one. But Killua is probably the greatest support character there has ever been in an anime. No question about it. Gon is kind of whatever, there's not that much cool to happen with Gon, but Killua's the homie. He stood up for Gon no matter what. Killua killed so many of the Chimera ants by himself. And everybody knows how infamous the Zoldyck family is in the Hunter x Hunter series, how they're not to be messed with. When he acquired Godspeed, you didn't think he could get any stronger than that at all. But there he is, just wiping people left and right. The love he had for Gon, the love he had for his little sister. The reason why I put Killua over Gon, which I honestly think 95% of you should. Gon literally used one move the entire anime. He's the main character. Why does he only have one move? Killua, Godspeed, lightning yo-yos, left and right killing, immune to poison because he was exposed to everything, immune to shock. Killua is a god with Godspeed. If Killua is not in your top 5 of anime characters of all time, I honestly don't know what's wrong with you. Killua is amazing, Hunter x Hunter is alright, but Killua, that's all I can say. So the next character should be pretty famous now. All of us are starting to rewatch the series. It is Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, Avatar: The Last Airbender has probably some of the most amazing characters out of any show, any anime, ever. It's a show I think that anybody who has watched it has definitely put it in their top 10 shows of all time. With Prince Zuko especially, there has never been a character in any anime that has had the character development that Prince Zuko has had. But Zuko, going from wanting to kill the Avatar to eventually being on the Avatar's team. Like, how does that happen? And yes, Zuko has many factors as to why he's a better person. Uncle Iroh's entire motive for the show was to save and protect and guide the Avatar. So he had that background and influence of, yes, he should always do the right thing. Zuko is an extremely powerful bender. Zuko participated in the Agni Kai with Azula, who's probably the strongest firebender we've ever seen in the show. Azula had blue fire, one of the most purest forms of fire, and Zuko didn't even have the power to control lightning at the time. He could only partially redirect it. Beyond Zuko not having the abilities to have blue flames and shoot lightning out of his fingers, he was a great swordsman when he was dressed up as the Blue Spirit, saving Aang and saving so many other people in this wake as a hero. Seeing him as a character whose main motive was to kill the Avatar and be the main antagonist, he became a protagonist in the show. One of the strongest support characters, and he grew to fame to run the Fire Nation. And had a dragon in Legend of Korra. That's pretty cool. So there's Zuko. There are so many great characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender like Toph and Katara, even Aang himself. But honestly, nobody matches Zuko's character development, and I think that just makes Zuko one of the greatest characters of all time, to see what his story was and what he went through. So for the second best anime character of all time is none other than Itachi Uchiha from Naruto Shippuden. If he's not in any of your guys' top 3, I just have no clue. Itachi is probably the most honorable character in all of Naruto and almost all of anime. Itachi killed his whole clan, and this whole time you think he's this bad guy that wants to seek revenge on his entire clan and all the ninja world, and he joins, the Akatsuki. And then when you really find his motives, he does everything for his brother behind the scenes. To hear Itachi's story, it makes you almost want to cry. I know I for sure cried. He had to see so much in his life and deal with so much in his life because he was so powerful. Nobody was honestly a match for Itachi. Sasuke, even at his strongest, struggled fighting Itachi when Itachi was deathly ill. Itachi lost to Sasuke because he was sick. And Sasuke, who spent his whole life trying to kill his brother, could barely do it and basically lost his brother to an illness versus him actually killing him. So that was my number 2, Itachi Uchiha. Now we're moving on to my number 1 favorite character in anime of all time, Lemillion, aka Mirio Togata from My Hero Academia. This character who can seep through walls and any obstacle, who had this storyline of just wanting to become the best hero he can possibly be. And the way we're introduced to him, a high school student who was second in line to become the greatest hero of all time, rank 1 behind All Might. As a high schooler, it's crazy to see what Mirio went through when he was saving Eri in that arc. He always said to win with a smile and to fight with a smile, and that's exactly what he did. He stuck with his motives, he stuck with his morals, and he did what he did because he is a hero. Mirio, when we saw his backstory, had one of the strongest work ethics, as he can only phase through walls and phase through anything when he thinks about that specific body part. So when you think about it, if he gets punched in the face, he has to think about phasing his nose, his eyes, his cheeks, his bones, the back of his head, his neck. He was basically unstoppable. He fought 1v3 against Overhaul and his little lackeys, overpowering them. Mirio Togata is exactly what I think an anime character should be and what I think a hero should be. Mirio is strong, he's steadfast, he goes head in and he knows that he can beat any situation. Even when he didn't have his powers for those few minutes, he almost whooped all of them without any powers and just pure raw aggression and strength, and still protected Eri until the others came. Mirio is the best anime character of all time for those reasons. He has amazing character development, amazing morals, a good sense of self. That's why he's my rank 1 for all animes. So that was my top 5 anime characters of all time from a few of my favorite animes. It can definitely be a controversial list, as the reason why I like anime can be different from why you like anime. They're the reasons why I love anime, and why anime and Japanese animation and the writing and the storytelling and character development, even though they're not real characters and they're not real people, you really see a sense of self in them, and somehow the beauty of the animation and the storytelling all comes to life in characters you can really resound with. So let me know of any anime recommendations that you might have. Let me know of your top 5. Let me know if you think my top 5 is crazy or any of the statements I said were a little ridiculous. It's subjective and it's meant to have a conversation, and I really want to know what your top 5 are, just so we can figure it out. I can always use more recommendations whenever I need it, but this is my conversation on anime, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.